So these meetings are an opportunity for us not only to talk about the immediate priorities of restoring price stability and safeguarding financial stability, but also about the longer-term prospects of growth and how prosperity can be an achievable objective for the lower-income countries. Which takes me to you. How do you see that?
Exactly right. And as we look at it, the elements of growth into the future, it's important that there be more investment in small businesses, in new businesses, and that means a flow of capital. And a worry that we have for developing countries is the capital flow right now is out of developing countries. So for many of the developing countries, it looks like they're in a phase of decapitalization rather than recapitalization. That goes with your point that instead of having convergence, meaning people with lower incomes growing faster than people with higher incomes. So convergence toward a higher level, that's not happening right now. It's actually a divergence, and that's gravely concerning. That means inequality, that means fragility for countries, and we see more countries falling into fragility. One of the concerns with with high prices now, high prices are being applied to food and fertilizer, and a concern for the poorest around the world is the farmers are not able to plant, and if they don't get fertilizer, often they won't plant for the crop cycle because they know that their yields will be too low. And so an urgent need, and we've worked on this over the last 6 months, but it's still has room to come together, is that the fertilizer resources go to the people that can pay the most, and that means those farmers are providing the global crop supplies. And so that's a challenge. Right now, for example, wheat supplies globally are at a low level. China has substantial stockpiles, but most of the other countries have drawn down their stockpiles, and so that points to a period of strain on global food supplies. I wanted to pick up on your point about the trade fragmentation. So as we think about that, trade is vital to productivity within the world. People swapping goods in their village, within their country, and across borders is a way to add value, to create more productivity. And to the extent that that breaks down into regional blocks or protectionist blocks, that's a concern. And right now, that's the direction of travel for the world. As it looks to stop the globalization and to reverse it, the risk is that it will come out with unproductive structures, and that also will weigh on world growth. And I guess I'll finish on your opening point that just the move from very low interest rates, I think artificially low interest rates, and the capital allocation that went with it, meaning investors all over the world were making decisions based on the idea that it was 0% interest rates for a long period of time, low for long, and that misallocated the capital. So to bring that back to productive uses is really hard. If you say, well, we're going to keep the interest rates at current levels or go to a more normal levels of interest rates, that means losses for banks that had a duration mismatch, as we saw with Silicon Valley Bank. And so there's losses being allocated by the world system now, but we should keep in mind, if you just lower the interest rates back down, it won't solve the problem. What that means is that people will suffer from inflation. The dollar weakens, the inflation rate goes back up, and that hurts the poor the most. So I think there has to be a goal of finding a low inflation environment and dollar stability for the future.
Very much.